High on Life is a first-person shooter adventure game by the co-creator of Rick and Morty that has a diverse array of weaponry, boss battles, an upgrading system, and a lot more. As a teenager, you take on the role of a bounty hunter who joins the fight against an extraterrestrial cartel invasion. In terms of gameplay, High on Life may not be the most innovative first-person shooter, but is more likely to attract many players who don't generally play many first-person shooters and are only getting into it to resemble Justin Roiland's approach. Precisely because of its comedy, which goes to great lengths to implement even the most basic ideas in absurd ways. High on Life is good at explaining the fundamentals of how to manage each gun and how to navigate the story. The following 7 High on Life tips will not only assist you in getting started, but also provide you an advantage over other people that are just starting out. Starting from number 7, no fall damage. When a new game features leaping mechanics, one of the first things to check is whether or not there is fall damage. This query will definitely be on many players' thoughts in High on Life as well because it has some platforming and jetpack piloting. Do not worry if you fall from the edge of the roof or if you miss a swing or your jetpack runs out of fuel. You can take a clever route down instead of suffering from the fall damage. You will remain alive as long as you land on any surface since there is no fall harm, but you will sustain damage if you do the same action above water or another dangerous material, but not from the fall itself. Even though it only constitutes a small portion of the game, being aware of it will help you avoid feeling compelled to take the easy way home. It will expedite things, but it won't aid you in battle or in any other way. Moving on to number 6, use Info Scanner. The navigation of your character in High on Life is made possible by the incredibly useful device, Info Scanner. If you ever become lost in the game, the Info Scanner sends out a radar ping that indicates the direction of the next waypoint. Even better, the radar highlights any nearby chests. Most of these chests only contain a few pesos, the game's revenue, which makes them worthwhile to find on its own. Use it if you're seeking for levelboxes, trying to find a task, or even if you're lost. Although occasionally you may also uncover different upgrades and game items, they often include money to use at the pawn shop. You can usually count on finding pesos inside a levelbox when you come across one. If you come into a bigger levelbox, you can also find cards inside of them to collect. You can use your info scanner to find locations of these chests, but you'll still need to get there. If you ever get lost while participating in a bounty, you may always use the info scanner to uncover the next waypoint and return to the current goal. Moving on to number 5, focus on levelboxes. You will encounter a group of chests known as levelboxes when playing High on Life, especially in the early going when you have a limited arsenal. These chests can be found in Blim and other places across the area which hold a significant quantity of the game's primary cash, which is needed to acquire suit and weapon upgrades as well as other items from the pawn shop. Possessing these skills might make a difference in the long run and provide the opportunity to discover other levelboxes throughout the world. It will take some time to open a levelbox, and you must first unlock Knifey. You just need to progress through the main tale a little bit to unlock Knifey. In a game like High on Life that focuses more on battle intensity, levelboxes are extremely crucial. In order to improve your stuff more quickly, you need constantly look for levelboxes and open them with the handy Knifey whenever you have some free time. As was previously noted, levelboxes occasionally contain cards in addition to the cash for the pawn shop, but you may also occasionally find different upgrades and game collectibles. You may use your info scanner to locate these chests. Moving on to number 4, visit pawn shop often. Jumping into the next reward is frequently simple after finishing the previous one. Simply remember to spend your money. Visit the pawn shop whenever you're in Blim City and look around for all the upgradable items that Mr. Keep is selling. The combat experience you have and the overall gameplay approach you choose to take are greatly influenced by these upgradable items. There are other stores than Mr. Keep's pawn shop, but this one has the most items for sale. The pawn shop will add new improvements and goods as the plot develops, which you may buy with the cash you earn selling levelboxes. Moving on to number 3, understand your arsenal. Numerous firearms in High on Life have different features, abilities, and effects. Each weapon has a unique ultimate power, yet despite their differences, they all have one thing in common. The last seconds before you perform will be slower for you. It's crucial to remember that the slow motion effect won't endure forever. If you wait too long, it will disappear. High on Life also relieves you of the need to worry about the ammo supply. This is due to the fact that any weapon the player may acquire has endless ammunition. This is not to imply that all guns are equal, as each one has a special skill. This is where the advantages and disadvantages of each firearm truly come into play. So try switching up your arsenal and locate the firearm that works best for the circumstances you find yourself in. You should thus feel free to try out every weapon to determine which one, in the end, works best for you. Sweezy, for instance, a weapon that becomes available as the tale progresses. The ultimate of this weapon is very helpful since, among other things, it can pause time. The effect will persist for around 6 seconds when you slow down until it disappears. Additionally, the bubble can be shot multiple times before it bursts. Continue experimenting with various weapons to see one best matches your playstyle. Moving on to number 2, explore the environment. You can freely explore the worlds you've opened after defeating Douglas or Krubies in Zephyr Paradise. Simply observing the backdrop and seeing how odd the alien setting is will give you a lot of the really interesting material. Both television programs and extraterrestrial commercials are incredibly entertaining to watch and, more importantly, worthwhile. Because you won't have every weapon at this time, you won't be able to unlock everything, but you can open lugboxes for treasure and utilize Kenny and Knifey to go to new locations. When you are close by, a blue circle directing you in the appropriate direction will appear on your minimap. The best way to appreciate High on Life is to take it slowly and focus on the stunning surroundings. The game, which leans somewhat toward the funny side, does a fantastic job of capturing the glitzy, creative surroundings. Therefore, use every opportunity to investigate the surroundings and engage in all of the possible interactions. Moving on to number 1, no manual save option. There isn't a typical save option in High on Life where you can go into the menu at any moment and save your game state. The game instead makes use of checkpoints and an autosave function. This implies that High on Life won't let you manually save the game or go to an in-game NPC or landmark to save your progress. Level to level, the occurrence of save game checkpoints varies, but generally, these occur when you first enter a new region, complete a story beat, discover a collectible, or engage with a significant NPC. When a brief floppy disk icon appears on the screen, the game is saving. The only thing you can do after the last auto-save and entering the game is to pick up at a checkpoint not too far from where you left off. You may want to make sure you see that autosave floppy disk before exiting the game to avoid losing too much progress. Well, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it so far. If so, then subscribe to the channel and like the video in order to see more gaming content like this in future. Comment down below with your own tips and what video do you need next. I'll see you all in the next video. Till then, bye bye.